Hey guys, this is Mike, your host of Craft Beer Storm, and it's Friday. That means we have craft brew news coming your way, the news of the past week. So first story is Canada's Collective Arts Brewing to enter cannabis market. What a shocker. We have these cannabis news every week, but that's the way it's trending. I mean, a lot of these breweries are getting into the liquid cannabis drink market. Canada's Collective Arts Brewing is venturing into the cannabis sector. The Hamilton, Ontario-based brewery, located about 50 miles from the New York border, has established a sister company called Collective Project Limited that will develop and sell cannabis-infused beverages. Actually, Collective Arts has really great beer. In a conversation with Brewbound, all these stories are brought to you by Brewbound, by the way, brewbound.com, great source of information. The CEO and co-founder Matt Johnston said the new line of THC and CBD-infused beverages would be artisanal in nature and could include non-alcoholic beer, as well as cold brew coffee or tea. So liquid, you produce liquid, you can venture into the THC CBD arena. The company is also planning to make a multi-million-dollar investment on de-alcoholization equipment, which will be used to produce non-alcoholic beer infused with THC and CBD, Johnson said. So I guess they're going to use their own beer, de-alcoholize it, and infuse this in. I mean, I'm just wondering what the effects are to some breweries just keep the alcohol and infuse this stuff in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Collective Arts joins a growing list of beer manufacturers that have already invested in the cannabis space. Large beer companies such as Anheuser-Busch InBev partnered with Tilray. Constellation Brands partnered with Canopy Growth, and Molson Coors partnered with Hexo, and they've struck partnerships with Canadian cannabis companies. Other U.S. beer manufacturers, including Flying Dog, the Heineken-owned Lagunitas, have experimented or explored the possibility of THC and CBD-infused beverages. Craft Brew Alliance is also eyeing the sector, so everybody's getting into this. Cannabis-infused beverages. They call it beer. So here we go. Next story, Bell's Brewery to cease beer shipments to Virginia. Virginia may be for lovers, but it won't be a place where drinkers can purchase Bell's beer for much longer. Bell's Brewery founder Larry Bell notified the company's 7 Virginia wholesalers on Friday that the Michigan craft brewery would cease shipments to the state after filling final orders. Bell told Brewbound, "We are not taking any orders from them at this point." He goes on to explain, "Those were difficult calls to make. It feels like the government shutdown. Here is people that are not getting a paycheck because somebody else's dispute. But the fact of the matter is, with Virginia law, if we stay in the market, it could be exposing ourselves to legal risk, which could be financially devastating." So it's a state-by-state basis in terms of beer distribution and the way breweries interact with local jurisdictions. It's a state-by-state basis, and they can choose not to, go into a state, or they could choose to, but they need a distributor. That's the whole thing. Bell declined to explain further, citing ongoing legal proceedings before the Virginia Alcoholic Beverage Control Authority, the ABC. However, at the center of the company's retraction from the state is a dispute over an attempted sale of Bell's distribution rights to a subsidiary of the Ray's Beverage Group. So I guess Bell wants to do something. Virginia's saying, no, you can't. So they're like, all right, well, then we won't distribute in your state, and we're pulling out, which happens, Bell added that this company's overall shipments grew 2.7% in 2018, driven by distribution expansion and organic growth in the company's home markets. In 2017, Bell's ranked the 7th largest craft brewer in the U.S., producing about 463,000 barrels of beer. That's a lot of beer, according to a trade group of the Brewers Association. So number 7 in the craft brew scene in the U.S. is Bell's. A lot of beer being produced, and it's a state-by-state thing. So, you could choose to be in a state, you could choose not to. There's just a lot of different forces at work. Legal, it's a headache, all this legal nonsense. why does a company want to get into it? So there you go. Next story, Massachusetts breweries strike strategic partnership. Massachusetts Mercury Brewing and Newburyport Brewing today announced a strategic partnership that will give the latter company access to brewing capacity via contract arrangement, as well as various sales, marketing, and administrative resources. I know the guys at Mercury Brewing, Ipswich Brewing, great guys, and they contract brew. They do a lot of contract brewing. So just Newburyport is growing, and they want to take advantage of it. The proximity is close as well in Massachusetts. Speaking to Brewbound, Rob Martin, owner of the Mercury Brewing, Rob's a great guy, which produces beers under the Ipswich Ale Brewery label, confirmed that his company had not taken an ownership stake in Newburyport. So it's just basically a contract. Instead, Newburyport worked out an agreement with Mercury Brewing that includes payment for brewing as well as sales, marketing, and administrative services. So it's a package that they're buying. And a lot of breweries are doing this. Instead of doing things in-house, they go outsource it, contract brewing. They don't have to invest loads of money into the capital, into equipment and maintain it. Somebody else does it. They bring their recipes there, they contract brew it, get it to the distributors, and it gets distributed. We're looking into that as well. I'd love to try to do that in Massachusetts. It's just difficult this is a state by state thing as well. I can't produce stuff here and self-distribute in Massachusetts, which is silly to me, but whatever. In the process of the partnering up, Newburyport will close its existing production facility as it prepares to downsize brewing operations and open a destination brewery outfitted with a small batch 7-barrel system. So here's the margin. Again, the most margin is when you bring people in. They're going to scale down 7-barrel system, and then instead of brewing it themselves, they'll have somebody else brew the quantities that go out to the stores and bars and restaurants. Newburyport currently operates on a 20-barrel brewing system and supplements its in-house production with beer brewed under contract at Isle Brewers Guild in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. They make huge amounts of beer down in Rhode Island. It's the same thing, contract brewing. Mercury Brewing currently makes beer for about 20 different companies, Martin said, and its facility has the capacity to produce as much as 45,000 barrels annually. So it's a lot of beer that they can produce. The addition of Newburyport's contract business will take Mercury to roughly 90% capacity utilization, Martin said. That's great. You want to utilize your tanks as much as possible. You built it. They have the infrastructure there. Got to make money, so crank it out. That's great that they're partnering up. ZX Ventures fully acquires RateBeer. That's our next story. ZX Ventures, which is an Anheuser-Busch InBev venture capital arm, has acquired the remaining portion of the beer ratings website RateBeer.com that it did not already own. So they're going to fully own RateBeer. ZX Ventures' full purchase of RateBeer comes after an initial investment was made in October 2016 and disclosed 8 months ago. And according to a ZX Ventures spokesperson, RateBeer will continue to operate as an independent entity, quote unquote, and its rating system will remain unchanged. In a statement, ZX Ventures said its acquisition of RateBeer will lead to the expansion of the brand into new areas, such as an affiliate marketplace pilot program in Australia and further upgrades to the platform's user experience. The initial round of investment led to backlash from RateBeer users, as well as well-known craft brewers, such as Dogfish Head and Carl Strauss, among others, who questioned the unbiased nature of the sale and asked for their ratings to be removed. So that's what happens when you have a larger entity purchasing RateBeer. Are the ratings really true? Are they biased? Is there filtering going on? Why are they buying RateBeer? That's the question. Why are they buying RateBeer? News of the investment also comes a week after RateBeer announced its annual list of top 100 brewers, which was topped by Vermont's Hill Farmstead, which make excellent beer as well. I don't know if you haven't been up there. It's a remote brewery, Hill Farmstead. We got to get them on as well. I got to try to connect with them. But they have delicious beer. Everything they make is really good. It's the quality of the I think it's the water. This has got to be something in the Vermont, the aqueducts and the Vermont water is delicious. But there's a lot of great, talented people up there, talented brewers making delicious beer. Vermont, here we go. The rest of the top 10 in descending order included Russian River Brewing, Trillium Brewing Company, Cigar City, Treehouse Brewing, AleSmith, Toppling Goliath, Three Floyds, Nuclearius, and Side Project. All great breweries. RateBeer. So we'll see what happens at RateBeer and their rating system and who gets rated. And it's just interesting why they're buying it. There's always questions. You question these things. But that is our craft brew news for today. Stories coming to you every Friday. And we also broadcast on Monday. We release a podcast with a brewer or a founder of a brewery or a mover and shaker in the industry, craft beer world. Just get their insights on the whole scene, what's happening, future, past, what they're doing. It's great information. We just had John Kimmick of Alchemist Brewing Company, founder of Alchemist and creator of a Heady Topper, one of the consistently highly ranked beers in the world. It's a great interview this past Monday. If you didn't check it out, please check it out. It's on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. Great stuff. And on Wednesdays, we do beer styles. So we go down the GABF list. It's about 102 beer styles, different beer styles, just to educate you on what's going on, like how many different types of beer there are. I mean, you don't realize there's 102, and then there's subcategories in there as well. So there's hundreds of beers that are really out there. It's not just a pale ale or a lager or an IPA. Lots of different beers, which are delicious. So that is where we are today. If you like what we're doing, you like our podcast, please go onto iTunes, please, and rate us, give us a rating, give us a review, subscribe. Please share it with a friend, share it with 10 friends. And that's the only way we get moved up in the rankings. And we're moving up. And, that exposes us to a lot more people, and then we can get the word out and try to make some good things happen. So that's where we are today. I wish you the best Friday, the best weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Take care.